Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss the scanner class in Java. Scanner class is a class that is defined in java.util package to obtain input from the user in an easy way. It is used to read the values of various types of input from the user with very less burden compared to using InputStreamReader and BufferedReader classes methods. It's defined within Java package util. So if you want to use scanner class in your program, you have to import util package in your program. Scanner methods are helping to input the values from the keyboard or file without going through any conversion system as InputStreamReader requests. Usually, InputStreamReader and BufferedReader classes uses readLine method or read method to accept input from the user. If you are using readLine method or read methods, then the inputs obtained from the user will be in the form of a string. But the value obtained from the user should be converted into required type based on the parse methods. So we have variety of parsing methods in various wrapper classes of Java like parseInt available in integer wrapper class, then parseFloat in float wrapper class, then parseDouble in double wrapper class. So like that we have variety of conversion methods or parsing methods available in every wrapper class. But the problem here is we have to do an explicit conversion of this string. It's an overburden. It's a burden to the programmer to write one more statement. And to overcome that, scanner class is actually designed. So scanner class is accepting input from the user and converting it into required type by itself. So there are specific methods in scanner class to accept different types of data from the user. If you want to use scanner class in your program, then your JDK should be 1.5 and above. And if you are using BlueJ version, then it should be 2.5 and above. Now, the steps to use scanner class methods in your program. First step is, as I said to you, scanner class is actually the part of util package in Java package. So if you want to use scanner class methods, first you have to import util package or the scanner class in your program. You can import the scanner class in your program in two ways. One is import java.util.star. That means util is a member package of Java and scanner class is the member of util package. And if you want to use scanner class, you can import all the members of the util package including the scanner class. So what will happen? The star is denoting that all the members of this util package will be imported into your program. If you want to have only the scanner class imported into your program, then you can go for the second statement. Import java.util.scanner. Here only the specific class is imported into your program. After importing the scanner class into your program, now next step is to declare an object of the scanner class using the new keyword. So the syntax of declaring an object of scanner classes as like this. First the scanner class, then in is actually the user defined object name, then equal to the new is the memory allocation or it's a dynamic memory allocation operator in Java that allocates memory for your object in the RAM and returns the address of the first byte allotted for this object as a value, and the address of that first byte returned will be stored into this object name in or in this object in. So this variable name in or this object name in denotes the address of the first byte allotted for the scanner object. After that, new keyword, again scanner, one more time the data type, then within the brackets you are mentioning system.in. System.in passed to the scanner constructor denotes the input device used to receive the input from the user. Usually the keyboard is the input device used to give inputs from the user. So directly the system.in denotes the keyboard used with your computer. Now the working principle of the scanner class. The scanner class works on the principle of token in the token as the input. So what's a token? Token is a series of characters that ends with a delimiter. So it's a collection of characters. And what is a delimiter? It's a character or it's a symbol that denotes the end of that token. In Java, especially in scanner classes, the default or delimiter is white space. If you are pressing spacebar in your keyboard, then that is where the end of the tokens. Otherwise, this white spaces can be of different types. It can be blank space or a tab or it can be carriage written or sometimes the end of the file. Can be considered as the token separators or otherwise the delimiters. So the default delimiters are the other delimiters are comma, semicolon, then period symbol, then question mark and exclamation mark. So these are the other delimiters that can be used with the scanner class. But mostly in our programs we used to use default delimiter, that is white space. Now these tokens are accepted in the form of strings. As readline is doing, the scanner class methods are accepting the input from the user in the form of strings only. But this built-in methods of scanner class are capable enough to convert the strings into the required type by themselves. So for every primitive data type defined in Java, there is a specific scanner class method that will convert the string or the token accepted from the user in the form of string into that particular type. Now these are the various scanner class methods available in Java. So nextInt is actually receiving a particular token from the user in the form of integer. So it receives a token and converts it into integer and assign it to a particular variable. nextLong will accept a token and in the form of string and convert it into long type. The nextFloat will receive a token from the user and it will store it into the float variable, like that double. So nextInt, nextLong, nextFloat and nextDouble, these are the numerical inputs. For numerical inputs, they will accept numerical inputs from the user. Then to get the strings from the user, then you have to go for two different methods. One is the next, another one is the nextLine. Next receives the next token as a string, but it will accept the characters in the token until the white space is entered. That means it is used to accept one word string as input. So if you want to accept one word as input from the user, then you can go for next. Then next line will receive a set of characters as input from the user until the enter key is pressed. And here the white space is a part of the string. So you can accept, or the program can accept multi-word string from the user. That means a sentence can be given as input when you are using next line as the method. Now these are the basics about the scanner class. Now let us move to the examples of the scanner class and how to do programs with the scanner class. And in this video we are going to discuss how to obtain a character from the user. Usually in InputStreamReader or BufferedReader classes, there is no specific method to get the characters as input. And next thing is there is no okay, some more issues are there. Okay, when you are using scanner class, one or two issues are there, especially when you are using next line method. So in this video we will discuss how to use the scanner class methods to accept input from the user, and how to accept character from the user, and then how to solve the issue of using next line after any other numerical or any other next methods in scanner class. Let us create a class scanner demo and click OK. Now scanner demo is created, and in the coding space I am erasing the default code and let me create a class scanner demo. Now, as usual, let us create the main method. So public static void main string args. Yes. Now, let me assume that I want to get three variables as input. So first variable is an integer variable, right? So int space, for example, let me assume it is a. Then a float variable b, so float b. Then one character variable c. Now we are going to accept inputs from the user for these variables a, b and c using scanner class methods, and we will have a discussion on how we can use the scanner class methods to get these values. Now, if you as per the steps we discussed in that in this video, we have to have a scanner object to use the scanner methods. So you have to declare a scanner object in your class, in your method. So scanner space in is equal to new scanner of system.in. Now I want to obtain the values of A, B, C. A is of type integer, B is of type float, and C is of type character. So before getting the inputs from the user, the scanner is the part of a util package. So let us import the util package into our program. So import java.util.star. Otherwise, you can import java.util.scanner. Directly you can import the class into the program. So now the scanner class is known to the program. Now you can start using the methods. So let us give a small description. System dot out dot println. Enter the values. Enter the integer. Enter the integer value, for example. Right? Now what I am doing is, if you want to get the integer value as input from the user using scanner class methods, I have to use nextInt. So nextInt is actually defined for getting integer values from the user, and since it's a part of the scanner class, you have to call it using the object of the scanner class. So in is the object of the scanner class. Now I am calling this nextInt using the object of scanner class in, and I am assigning it to a. You see, now there is no need of any conversion in this input, because in readline method, if you are using readline method, after getting the readline input from the user, you have to convert it into integer type using parseInt method. But here there is no need of parseInt method, since nextInt itself is capable enough to get the token from the user in the form of string and convert it into integer. Now next is actually the float. Let us use the same set of code. For example, integer, the float value. So the next type of value is float value, and float value's name is b. And here next method you have to use is actually nextFloat. You have to use nextFloat. Now nextFloat will get a collection of characters including the decimal point and the digits after the decimal point or before the decimal point, everything together as a string, and it will convert it into float type and it will be assigned to b. Next one is accepting the characters from the input from the user. Accepting the characters from the input from the user. So there is no specific method in Java, even in InputStreamReader or buffer reader. There is no specific method in Java to get a character as input from the user. If you are using InputStreamReader or buffer read method, first you have to use a read method or readline method to get the input from the user. Then you have to type convert that single character you entered in the key through the keyboard into the character type. So there, when you are using InputStreamReader or buffer reader classes to get the input from the user, you have to get the single character as string and you have to type convert it to character. But in scanner class, how can you get a single characters actually? First you call next method. So next method is actually capable of accepting one word as input. When you are getting one word as input, and that in that one word, if you are having only one character, right, and in that one word, first character is considered as the character you are going to have in your variable. So if you are entering A as input, that A will be considered as a single string. That means a single word, one character string, and in that one character string, the first character will be index 0, right? So the character available at index 0 in the word you are entering through the next method will be considered as the character you are getting from the user. So what you want to do is, once you call next method using the object of the scanner class in, so in.next, from that take the first character. So how can you take the first characters? Actually in Java there's a string handling function called carriage. That char will return a particular character at this in given index. Here you want to get the character from the index 0, and there you will get your character, right? Now you can assign it to the character variable c. So c equal to in dot nextInt in dot next dot character of 0. So this is what the method you can use to get a character as input from the user when you are using the scanner classes, right? Now all the three variables are obtained from the user. Now let us display the values. So system dot out dot println. Let us display the values first. For example, a, then again system dot out dot println b, then system dot out dot println c. Yes. So now we can compile the program, and there is no syntax error. Let us run the program now. Yeah. Now let us enter the integer value 10. Let us enter the float value 20.5. Now let us enter a character variable or character value, for example, a. You see, now the values 10, 20.5 and the character variable or character value a are printed, right? So in this program we have discussed how to use the scanner class methods nextInt, nextFloat, and next to obtain the integer values, float values, and character values as input from the user. Especially getting the characters as input from the user is very important, because there is no specific method in Java to get the characters as input from the user. Now we want to discuss one more important issue when you are using the scanner method. So what is that is, if you are using nextLine method, if you are using nextLine method after any of the next numerical methods, nextInt or nextFloat, nextDouble, right? In that case, nextLine will not work. So let us check it, right? So for example, string s is equal to in dot next line. Otherwise, let us declare here. Let us use it here after the next float function. So what you want to do is, for example, let me declare a variable string s is equal to in dot next line. Already I used a nextInt method, but immediately before the next line I used nextFloat. That means a next numerical method. Actually, a numerical scanner method is used before next line. So in that case, it's expected that Java will generate an error, or it will issue an error. Okay, when you are compiling it. And let us display the value too. Okay, let us display the value. Okay. Before that, let us give a description to the user to enter the string as input. So system.out.println, enter a string. right? Now let us declare the display the values. Okay, so let us display the value of the string entered by the user, that is s. But what is expected here is this calling this next line after this next float. Okay, immediately after this next float will generate or it will create an error. Let us compile it. No syntax error. Then at the time of running you may face it, right? So let us execute the program. So scanner demo. Let us enter an integer value. So integer value is 10. Then next the float value 20.5 for example. Then enter a string, right? So if you are entering the string, right, for example ABC, right, you see it's accepting the string, right, but it is not displaying it. Actually it's not at all accepting the string too. Okay, it's waiting for the string, but once you press enter, once you are entering the string, it is not accepting the string at all, right? When you are seeing the output, right, you are not seeing that string in the output, right? So this is because when you are using the next line method after any previous next non-string method, right, then you may face an error. Now how to solve this problem? It's quite natural. It's a design problem, but how to solve this problem? So let us no, open the code again. Okay, how to solve this problem is actually before calling next line method. If you call this next line method immediately after and next numerical method, simply call the next line method one time without getting any value. So simply call next line. So move the cursor to next line when you are or that means move the cursor to the next line when you are calling the next line simply, or an empty next line is called actually. So here if you are going to use the next line method immediately after an previous next numerical method, then it will not work. It will create an error, especially at runtime. So what you can do is you can call this next line before calling the next line for getting input from the user. Simply call next line for not for any inputs, right? After that, if you are calling it again, it will work. Now let us compile the program again and run it. Right, and run it. Okay, so let me give the integer value first, 10, then float value 20.5, then enter the string ABC. Right, now still that issue is there, right, and we want to give the character also. Okay, so character for example A. You see now okay, the integer value, then float variable, okay, the float value, then the character value, and then the string. All these are actually accepted and displayed in the output. Okay, so this is actually an important problem to be solved in when you are using the scanner method, right, especially next line method in scanner immediately after the non-string method in your program. Okay, right. So in this video we discussed how to use the next method, sorry, scanner methods to accept input from the user and their advantages, and the small issues, and how can we solve that issue, okay, in our level. So I hope that you understood this video and you like this video, and subscribe the channel Programmer for Programmers by Felix for more videos, and press the bell button to get notifications on new uploads.